Hey, this is Pamela Schneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. And no, this is not what's behind the avocados. Um,
I'd say on location, but it rhymes with location. To be,
yeah.
well, you remember
This,
last year you went on vacation and what happened that week? It
what
was
happened?
the cherry delivery. Wouldn't you
Oh,
know? It came this week. These are the cherries that Stemilt sends to important media members, the most important. It
the
comes in a
most.
big box, which has already been taken for crafts in my house, but we still got about half our cherries left.
You know what? Let me show you what I've got. And this started a huge, huge saga for us last year when the cherries arrived when I was not home. And the thing is that Stamil was so awesome to check my availability, and I didn't even think I would be gone for the Organic Produce Summit or anything. Um, and so this year, and then they showed up when I was gone, and my children ate them. And this year, uh, this is what I got. I'm trying to do that thing where you're like, hold up, I got it, it's gonna be great. Um, my husband sent me this slow-mo gorgeous video of the unboxing of the cherries. Yeah.
Well, at least he's the only one there. He probably won't eat 5 pounds of cherries before you get back.
Right. We're headed home tomorrow, so I've got high hopes that there will be a few left. Although I will note that coincidentally, and I'm not endorsing anyone's brand, I picked up a clamshell of Stamil cherries and was eating them on the road trip on the way up anyway. So it was like I'm already taken care of here. So yeah. But I left the background instead of switching it to gorgeous rows of cherries. I left the background because it's Euro edition.
Yes.
And I brought two options with me on this trip. And of course, I stuck with the Netherlands, and I brought the Croatia for my friend John Pandel, but this barely squeaked through. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Well, Croatia failed to hold on to two late leads and crashed out. So I decided I'll dig at your Germany-ism by wearing Danish because they play in the first round, the opening round of knockout this weekend. So we'll see. I have a Germany jersey too. We'll see which one makes it to the next round.
I think all I've got left is Germany. So,
I've got a few options left.
so I've been on vacation. What's been happening back at the office?
Well, we had a big retail acquisition this week. Save Mart companies were acquired by the Jim Pattison Group out of British Columbia. And this is the second time in the last 2 years that Save Mart has been acquired. They are acquired by Kirk's or Kingswood Capital Management, a private equity group. And so they've sold it. And so far, the reports are that nothing's going to change, but we haven't heard from the Jim Pattison Group. But you know a little bit about them because they're huge in Canada.
They are huge in Canada. Mostly Western Canada as far as retail goes. The funny thing is you mentioned the Jim Pattison group, and I don't think it like triggered in your brain. I was like, you know what? I got this. I was just on the CPMA retail tour where our tour bus guide gave us the whole lowdown on the Jim Pattison group. He is one of Forbes' richest people in the world. He's worth $10 billion. He's 95 years old, and he owns Save On Foods. I mean, Save on Foods I know more about because we did stop at one of the stores in West Vancouver, which was like the fancy part of one of the fanciest cities in North America. But it's really interesting that Save on Foods picked him up because it's so geographically outside of their area. However, the Jim Pattison Group has a extremely diverse background of businesses that it owns. And I mentioned when we were looking at them, I'm like, oh hey, yeah, I heard about that on the retail tour. They own Ripley's, believe it or not. They own all kinds of crazy different, mostly car dealerships and media. But they expanded into food, and Save on Foods was a really cool stop on our store check, and they really did a great job of merchandising for us. And then also the samples. They put out an amazing array of cheese, which is always going to be a winner for me. And it's right next to produce. So got to try both.
Makes sense. Well, that's something we'll follow. They have about 200 stores in California and Nevada, so they're a significant independent, smaller chain on the West Coast. So yeah, we'll see if there'll be any changes with that. In other retail news, it seems like every other day we get a press release from a retailer touting their Fourth of July savings on some kind of combo pack, some kind of $50 deal for 8 people or whatever. And they're really a lot of, I mean, Walmart, Kroger, Ivy, I mean, everyone is putting theirs out there. And produce is part of a lot of them, which is nice because you can't have a Fourth of July barbecue without produce in there. So that's good. It's I guess it's harder depending on the year to factor in which ones are going to make it into their promotion. But at the same time, we ran a Rabobank analysis piece talking about food inflation and comparing it to previous Fourth of Julys, and the numbers are no shock. They're, I mean, roughly 25% higher than 4 years ago. But it's cool how it kind of goes into each category. Obviously, we know what's going on in produce, and we talk about it all the time. But other food groups are included in this, and it's kind of cool to see the ebbs and flows of other groups like the beef industry. It has to be part of any barbecue, and of course, there's a little segment on beer because you got to have that if you're doing a Americana celebration. So I think it'd be good for our readers to dig into that and see a little bit outside of produce and what's affecting consumers in other areas.
Well, actually, while you were mentioning this, it reminded me of something I just saw because I was just, I am on vacation, but we all still work a little bit when we have deadlines, right? And I saw the American Farm Bureau Federation is doing a price comparison, not just for Thanksgiving now, they have Fourth of July prices as well, and they compiled some information and they checked prices for a complete cookout consisting of cheeseburgers, chicken breast, pork chops, potato chips, pork and beans, fresh strawberries, potato salad, fresh squeezed lemonade, cookies, and ice cream. And to feed a group of 10, they can expect consumers to pay $71.22, up 5% from last year and 30% from 5 years ago.
So that's almost higher than the Rabobank one. But Farm Bureau doesn't include beer in theirs.
Yeah, right? But either way, I think it's no surprise to most consumers that prices are higher than 5 years ago, of course. But there's some deals to be made. And you know what? If you follow along and try to gamify your shopping and catch all the sales at all the different stores, if you live in a urban area with more than one store. I mean, I'm in an area that there is not much to choose from. I got a Gerb's and a Walmart Supercenter if I don't want to go more than 30 minutes away from where I'm hanging. Oh, there's a Dollar General too. But there's probably like three Dollar Generals, gonna be honest. But if I don't want to drive more than 30 minutes, that's all I got. I don't have any other options. So it's not like I can shop the lists like I normally would in Austin and go to 12 different kinds of retailers within 10 miles of me.
Does Instacart serve your area now?
But Walmart Plus does. So there you go.
Well, Instacart is trying to expand. We did have another update on Shipped, which is including the EBT now. There's all sorts of, when you go out of the office for a week, the retail doesn't stop. It just keeps pouring.
I mean, yeah, and the thing is that I've only been to the store once. I think it's like a record for me. Only going to the store one time in a week and a half. I didn't even go to the store. I was in Kansas City over the over the weekend, and I didn't even go to the store while I was there. That must be some kind of crazy record. So, but I'm really out of my element.
Yeah, well, I'll let you get back to it. You're on vacation. I'll get you back soon enough.
All right, well, that's it for the Produce Reporter Week in Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.